Hey there folks, John here with Through My Lens, and today I'm coming to you with another knife-related video. Today I'm going to be discussing my recent Chris Reeve service experience. Now I'm going to go through the process and procedure that you would go through to get your own knife serviced, and I'm going to talk about my opinion of the overall service experience. Now fans of Through My Lens will recall that I recently did a review of this knife. This is my Chris Reeve large Sebenza 31 with the black micarta inlays. And in that review, I indicated that I did plan to send my plain Jane 31 that I have here back to the mothership, back to CRK for their standard spa treatment. And that's exactly what I did. So let me kind of just go into what's involved with that. The service experience really begins by going to the Chris Reeve website. Now, once you're on the Chris Reeve website, you're going to scroll down to the bottom of the page and you're going to select Service My Knife. From there, you're going to hit the drop down on knife type and select the appropriate type and select your model, and in my case, it was the Sebenza. Select the generation and then select the size and hit Next. From there, you'll select the first level of service that you want and hit Next. And then if you have any parts to request, you can select them here. I'll select the blue double thumb lugs. And you can select more parts if you need to, but I didn't. So at this point, I'll hit Next. And it'll take you to a page where you fill out all your contact information for shipping and so forth. Once you do that, you'll hit the Submit button. And from there, you're going to get an email back from Chris Reeve, which confirms that they have received your service request, and it will also include the address to ship your knife. Now, I've highlighted here that the typical turnaround for the service is between 4 and 8 weeks. It does say your service could be quicker depending on the services selected, and that they don't usually contact you again until the service is complete. Now, this email will have a PDF attachment of your service request and an estimate for the work that's being done. And you can see here on the estimate that they don't charge for the clean, tune, and inspection, and they don't charge to re-sandblast the handle scales, which I thought was just incredible. That was awesome. So again, it was going to cost me all of $25 to have those double thumb lugs installed, which, again, I thought was, just, really a fair price to charge. Now, once you pack up and ship your knife, and there's a couple of suggestions for that, I recommend you just send the knife in an ordinary shipping box. There's no real need to ship it back, in the original packaging with any of the accessories and the paperwork that came with the knife. And do remember to print out that service quote and include it in the box. Now, once the factory receives the knife, you will get a confirmation email of the receipt of the knife, which I really appreciated. Again, I've had knife service a couple of times, and I end up always, calling after, the tracking that I get when I ship the knife indicates that the knife has arrived. I always give them a couple, 3 days, and when you call to see if they got it, they're usually annoyed that you're calling. So the fact that they send you an email confirming that they have receipt, I think is just a fantastic thing. Now, my service actually only took a couple of weeks, which really surprised me given the current COVID-19 environment that we're in. I really did expect it to take longer. But keep in mind, your mileage may vary in terms of how long your service takes. Once it was ready to come back, I did get a call from Cameron at CRK for payment. The total was $42.50, which included tax and the return shipping via FedEx 3-day, which again, I appreciated. And it did go out that same day. So, and here's an important thing, whether you're talking about warranty work or you're talking about user requested service, do plan on paying the return shipping, which, is no big deal. I think that's completely fine. Now, when I got the knife back, I was surprised to see they shipped it in one of the old school boxes that Chris Reeve used to ship their knives in prior to the more upscale, luxurious packaging that they're using now. Of course, it was very well packaged. And in terms of the work that was performed, I really couldn't be more pleased. If you'd have handed me this knife and told me that it was a brand new knife, I would completely believe you. It looks brand new to me and is perfect in every way. Here's a look at the double thumb lugs. I think they look fantastic. I think the knife just looks so much more complete and symmetrical with the double thumb lugs. And the snail trails that were on the knife before, no hint, no trace of snail trails anywhere on the knife, on the clip. You might as well call this a brand new knife. Not that it was, beat to hell when I sent it to him, but absolutely not. It's a pretty new knife. It's a 31 after all. That model just came out, but it did show some wear. It did in terms of the scales. And again, it looks brand new. So I really couldn't be more pleased. In my Black Micarta 31 video, I talked about the fact that I'm really OCD about the snail trails that can show up on the plain Jane 31, and how I had planned to carry the knife going forward in one of the Chris Reeve leather sheaths to try and protect those scales from having snail trails appear. Again, that's just my OCD. But now that I know how easy and inexpensive it is to service the knife, part of me just wants to use the snot out of the knife and just send it in for refurbishment once or twice a year. So what I think I'll probably do is, I'll probably baby the knife initially, again, using the leather sheath here when I carry it, and see how long I can avoid snail trails, see if this is actually a legitimate strategy for avoiding snail trails. And if and when they do show up, as inevitably they probably will, I'll be less protective, once that happens. But for now, I'm really going to enjoy having, just a brand new plain Jane Sebenza 31 with the double thumb lugs. Here's another close-up kind of shot of how that looks with the double thumb lugs. Again, I really like it. Incidentally, I've also been able to compare the deployment of my Black 31 compared to the plain Jane. And keep in mind that I've cleaned and lubricated. I did a video where I did a clean lubrication on this knife after I sent this one in. And I lubricated the Black 31 with KPL. I kind of noted in that video that that's sort of sacrilegious to a lot of Chris Reeve purists, because some form of fluorinated grease is more typically used for lubrication. That's what the factory uses. However, I do have to say that my Black Micarta is noticeably easier to deploy than the plain Jane 31 that just came back from the factory. It's certainly not the deployment is bad on my plain Jane 31, but I think it's noticeably better with the KPL. So I'm really happy about that. Might have to do a lubrication on the 31 and use KPL on that as well to see if I get similar results. So there you have it. There's my kind of overview and review of the Chris Reeve knife service experience, the process and procedure that you follow. Again, I was extremely, extremely happy, and I think their process is really head and shoulders above others in the knife industry. Again, super easy. I've sent in knives for service, again, to like ZT knives, for example, and the process was not nearly as good in terms of being both intuitive or the level of communication received. So I think, you know, knife manufacturers look to Chris Reeve knives and the process that they have in place and emulate that, because again, it really goes to their customer focus and you know, their top shelf customer service experience. Really, really pleased with that. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Take care. God bless. We'll see you in the next one. I hope you've enjoyed this production from the Through My Lens YouTube channel. If you did, please click on the like button and do share the video on social media. If you'd like to see more content like it, please do subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and do check out Through My Lens at www.throughmylens.org.